everybody, what's going on? And welcome to Forks Over Knives Live. My name is Corey, and with me, as always, I have Steven. Steven, how you doing today?
I'm doing okay, Corey. Happy Friday to you. How are you doing?
You too. I'm good. You know, the sun is shining, the birds are in the trees. I've got a window in front of me. Come on, what else do I need here?
Yes, and we always have a lot of good food ahead, right?
We do. Guys, listen, today is the day where you want to stay here because I'm telling you, we're giving you a new guide. It's a new free guide. It's going to be full of recipes and it's going to be delicious. No strings attached. It's just a free guide to help you. And I'm excited to tell you how to get it in a second. So
I love that, Corey. You know, with all the resources that are out there, and I'm sure we'll be talking about a lot of them, it's always nice to launch something new, something that can be supportive, something that can be informative, and something that can bring extra ease to anyone wherever they're at in their plant-based journey.
Yep. Well, listen, just in case we have somebody or people that are new that are watching, I want to let you know who the heck we are. My name's Corey. I'm just a husband. I'm a father. I'm a plant-based dad. I've got 3 kids that are plant-based. I myself eat a whole food plant-based diet that consists of fruits, veggies, nuts, seeds, beans, and whole grains. And yes, I practiced saying that a million times because people ask me what I eat.
It's a mouthful, delicious mouthful, but it's a mouthful.
I try. I got that line from my friend, Plant-Based Gabriel. So,
yeah. Oh my gosh. And then you go to Dr. Esselstyn going through all the different veggies and everything like that. Right. And for everyone out there, I'm Steven, your customer success manager here at Forks Over Knives. I'm coming to you from Baltimore, Maryland. I see that we have people from Nova Scotia, Sugar Grove, Illinois, Amsterdam, Langley, British Columbia, Minnesota, and California. You can see that Forks Over Knives is truly a global audience because we are all here to eat healthfully, deliciously, and conveniently.
Holy cow, Paulette says she's totally new to this. She's transitioning over. Well, Paulette, we're here to make it easy for you because, again, I got 3 kids. We transitioned over to a plant-based diet because of my wife. And the truth is, she has ulcerative colitis, right? So we're helping her put good things in. And, luckily, with the help of Western medicine that she needed at the time for an acute issue and taking some responsibility for ourselves, we were able to get her fully off of her medication. Wow. And now she is thriving and doing wonderful. So life is good. And then Steven, your journey, before we kind of go into the value here, your journey, like I think you were a little reluctant at first, but then all of a sudden, your wife, your partner, your soulmate there, she was like, hey, let's do this.
A little reluctant is a bit of an understatement. I was very reluctant, and I want everyone out there to specifically know that, especially if this is brand new, depending on where you are in the world and who you are with, who may or may not be supportive at this moment, but that changes over time. Hello there, everybody. Reluctance is okay. Baby steps are okay. For me specifically, my partner at the time was going through their journey, and I just needed to learn a little bit more. And I think the big thing to kick everything off, Corey, and especially with the story that you shared, is knowing your why, right? Why are you doing this? Are you doing this because of a health condition and you want to make sure you return to health? Are you doing this because you want to be as preventative as possible to make sure you don't end up in that specific health state or condition? Are you doing this because of a greater love for animals, of a sense of sustainability, of taking care of the environment? Any one of those 3 or even more, supporting a friend, supporting a family member. If you can connect with that why, you have your reasons to do it. And from there, all the what's that Corey and I are going to share, they just kind of fall like dominoes.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're going to get started. But before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and reveal what you need to comment on this to get your free guide. And I want to show you what we've got here. So I'm going to share my screen.
Awesome.
Let's see. Okay, share screen. And then I'm going to share a window. No, hang on. Chrome tab. All right, I got it. Here we go. Share. Okay, can you see that, Steven?
I can see it. Wow. Okay.
We got the top tasting recipes to help reverse heart disease. Now, I want you to read up on this. And if anyone follows Dr. Esselstyn, you know that he is all about reversing heart disease through a whole food plant-based diet. It's going to give you a little bit of information about what types of foods can cause heart disease and all that kind of stuff. But then it gets, and some success stories, of course. And then it gets into the good stuff. How about a pumpkin chai smoothie?
Yes.
How about blueberry muffins?
Yes.
How about some savory shiitake oats?
Yes.
Mushrooms and oats? I've never even seen that. It's incredible. All right, so solid wrap, green curry with potatoes, lots of good stuff. The bottom line is we've got you covered, and all you have to do is comment with the word heart, and then our team, Amanda and Steven, our amazing team, they will send you the page where you just opt in, and we'll give it to you. You got to tell us where to send it, though, so the email system can send it to you and all that stuff. So that's it. All right, Steven.
That's awesome. I love that, Corey. Hey, also, this was brand new for me. That's the first time I'm seeing it, and I'm excited. And after almost 14 years, if I can get excited, then you can get excited for sure.
Well, let's get into this thing. All right, we got a lot of people saying they're here for the first time, so this is absolutely incredible. Mary Ingram, much love to you for being here. Thank you so much. A lot of people commenting heart. They're going to get that free guide, and we might have some time to address a couple questions. So if you do have some questions, please put them in there. Our producer, Bess, will star those, and we'll get back to you, okay? Steven, let's get into this thing. What do you have? You're starting off on a plant-based diet. What is the first thing that you need to do? I'm going meta level, big level, and then we're going to kind of trickle down, of course, into those specific tips. The know your why is a big one for me, but also progress, not perfection. I hate to know anyone who is experiencing those challenges and says, that's it, I'm done, this is not for me, or thinks that there is a 100% way to do it right. If you are taking a look at the reasons why you're doing this and you are making any steps forward, that might be trying out a new food, cooking a new meal, cutting out oil or something else, cutting out a specific animal food and continuing ahead, that is the progress that makes this journey a lot easier than if you sometimes were to say, I'm doing it all or nothing right now. Some people, that works. I don't want to stop you from doing that. But progress, not perfection. This is your ride. You do it the best way possible. We'll provide all of the tips and support to make sure that you are in the know about that. Yeah, I think the biggest thing when you're starting off, folks, is like, what the heck am I going to eat?
Right.
And that we've got that solved for you. Okay. So, get the Healthy Heart Guide. Again, comment with the word heart. We'll send it to you totally for free. No tricks, no anything weird. We're not selling you anything. We're just going to give you that heart guide. And then in addition to that, we'll talk about our meal plan in a second. If you guys want to dive into the meal plan, you can totally do that. Free trial, no credit card required. We got you covered. But ultimately, the way that I think about this is phases. And for me, there's 3 phases. And I just made these up. Phase 1 for me is all about getting rid of meat. And I say this because, it's no doubt that, meat has protein in it, but it also has a ton of fat and a ton of other carcinogens and things of that nature. We're not going to get into the details because I'm not a registered dietitian. Okay. I'm not going to talk about that stuff, but I am going to tell you that if you've seen the Forks Over Knives documentary, you know that meat has no place in your diet. And so what I want to do first is kind of replace those meats with something else. Could you replace it with a tofu? Yes. Could you replace it with I hate to say like Beyond Meats and things of that nature, but guys, look, it's going to be a smidge better than the fake. And it steps in the right direction. So that's like a phase 1 for me. Just get rid of the meat and sub it out with something else. Phase 2 for me is starting to be aware of cheese and oil. Think of how much cheese you consume. Think of how much you cook with oil and know that it's not necessary. Mm-hmm. And so that brings you into phase 3, which is like, get rid of those things, cheese and oil. You do the research on cheese, you understand that, dairy is just one of those things that are inflammatory and not good for the system. So what I want you to do is think about, how you can eliminate those things. And we walk you through it. We'll walk you through it. I don't want you to be on your own. How do you feel about that, Steven?
I love steps 1 and 2. It really breaks it down into a simple journey ahead. Again, we are not going for the top of the mountain in one jump. We are going to trek up there bit by bit, feel better and better, cleaner and cleaner, stronger and stronger, and just more knowledgeable about everything. So those are great 2 first steps. What about the third?
The third one was just go totally whole food plant-based. And that's when we're talking about fruits, veggies, nuts, seeds, beans, and whole grains. And that's really where we kind of get into like the Forks Over Knives meal plan and that trial to really get in there and say, okay, how do I take these ingredients and make them into delicious things? Brownies, cakes, appetizers, dinners, breakfasts. And these are delicious foods. These are not like cardboard flavored cookies. Like these are savory and sweet and incredible and very satisfying.
You know what's great about that, and you alluded to this earlier, Corey. we're talking about steps of getting rid of things, right? But you also made it very clear it's important to know all of the foods that are accessible and available to you. And there are so many resources that are helpful in this 3-step journey to make sure that you have resources, specifically that heart guide that you mentioned. We'll be talking a bit more about the meal planner, but we have some great articles on the Forks Over Knives website that just include a full Rolodex of whole plant foods to stock your kitchen and your pantry with. So being able to know, okay, if I'm getting rid of things, what am I filling in with? When you take a look at all of those different fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, legumes, potatoes of all kinds, nuts, seeds, spices, herbs, seasonings, some baking supplies that we probably already use right now. When you know what is available, then cutting out anything isn't going to feel like you're limiting yourself. You're just filling up with a whole bunch more.
Yeah. I love that. I think that if I had to choose a favorite recipe, okay, and this is my personal favorite, right? So I don't know if it's officially part of the Forks Over Knives meal plan or the Forks meal planner, but I think it needs to be added. It's called Mommy's Famous Tofu Chicken, not even chicken, tofu curry. See, I said chicken because it's usually chicken curry, but we take the chicken out and we put tofu in. Mommy's favorite tofu curry. And that's what
but everything else is the same for the most part, right?
Oh yeah. You've got golden potatoes. You've got just a handful of cashews. You've got a bunch of other things that I can't think of right now that are absolutely delicious. But the truth is that's my favorite. Is like that dish to me is home. That dish is emotionally something that makes me feel happy and safe. And
that's so important to know that we have those types of dishes, burgers and burritos and pancakes and casseroles and shepherd's pies. All of these feel like home. You're not getting rid of your favorites. Corey, you just mentioned a recipe where you're literally subbing one thing in for something else. You're using similar sauces, spices, seasonings, cooking styles. So just so everyone knows, you might only be one step away from enjoying your favorite meal in a plant-based way.
If it's okay, I want to go ahead and address a couple questions that are in there. I know we have a couple starred with Bess. So Bess, if we could throw those up on the channel. And guys, you might see at the bottom, it says, say heart. Comment with the word heart and we'll send you our free healthy heart guide from Forks Over Knives. And we got you covered, totally free. Okay. Hi, I'm new to this. And good for you getting your children to eat what's best for them. Oh, thanks. Yeah. I have, my oldest daughter is now 15. We transitioned to a plant-based diet when she was 3 years old. And so she's the only one that has tried bacon, is like, yeah, I could do without it. I'm good. I'm like, well, I mean, look, I know back in the day, I acknowledge and understand like bacon smells good and is delicious or whatever, but it's not. It's not good for you. And there's things that we can have that are equally as satisfying, honestly.
And as far as the kiddos go, would you call them plant-based rock stars now? Are they getting to that rock star level?
I mean, define rock star, like phase 3.
No, that's legend. How about phase 2?
Yes. My kids do not consume any meat of any kind. They do indulge in some of the vegan cheeses though. And those are the ones that I'm like, meh, but ultimately I'm just being real with you people. Like, my kids, I'm trying to fuel them with the knowledge that they can make their own decisions rather than like, really hard dictate and maybe give them like a food complex in the future. So it's a fine balance as a parent. And you parents out there, I know you know what I'm talking about. It's like, I've got to draw the line somewhere, right? Like we don't have meat in our house. We don't have dairy in our house. That's just we just don't do that as a family. And we talk about that. This is what we just don't do this. But ultimately with some of the vegan, rare occasions, things of that nature, as long as it's not the norm, I'm kind of okay with it. And just, I know
And
that.
for anyone who is, again, starting the journey over there, progress, not perfection. If that is a step in the direction that you want to go, we are getting rid of something that is a lot worse for us. And we are moving closer to those taste buds changing, to getting familiar with different types of foods. And before you know it, you're making these delicious cheese sauces out of potatoes and cashews and spices and seasonings that, hey, that'll beat Velveeta or any sort of Cheese Whiz any day of the week.
Hey, we have a question from Sandra. This is a good one. If you have severe nut allergies, can you eat this way?
Absolutely. We've been naming some certain foods, and even though I just mentioned cashews, we don't need cashews in the cheese sauce. So to know that you have access to the full library of any type of fruit, any type of vegetable, any type of whole grain, any type of bean, lentil, pea, potato of any kind. Nuts are a higher fat food that you're going to find in Forks Over Knives and Forks Meal Planner recipes here and there. They're used a bit more sparingly compared to all of those other nutrient dense foods that I just listed off. So as far as nuts goes, yeah, you can absolutely do whole food plant-based without nuts. If seeds is something that you can consume, oftentimes you can replace a nut or a nut butter for a seed or a seed butter of any kind. And if you happen to be avoiding both nuts and seeds, which a lot of, if we're talking about Dr. Esselstyn, a lot of his heart patients might be completely omitting those higher fat foods, there's still all of those rest of those foods to enjoy. So 100%, yes, you can enjoy it.
Good. I'm getting frustrated even with expensive pans that are non-stick, but cooking without oil, everything sticks. Ugh. Oh, I totally understand. Okay, so have you tried a cast iron skillet? Do you own a cast iron skillet?
Yes, yeah, we do. I don't use it as much anymore. We have, I think our Blue Diamond pans are the ones that we actually really, really like. There's a pan called the Scan Pan. There's a pan called, I believe it's the Always Pan. But the great thing is, totally understand that frustration. There are a lot of great pans, a lot of great cookware. Please, if you're in the comments and you have your own favorite, share it here, because what you share, others are seeing. We have great resources on the Forks Over Knives website also. If you type in cookware, or if you type in appliance or equipment, again, if you even just go to forksoverknives.com, in the upper right corner, you're going to see a little search bar with a magnifying glass. Enter any keyword you want, and you will have a plethora of articles to help you. But that's a bunch of different pans to try out.
Ooh, mayonnaise. Okay, I'm gonna let you choose a mayonnaise. She likes mayonnaise. What can I use that tastes like it? Avocado is what I'm gonna say.
Avocados, I think, are the number one answer. There's that creaminess. There's that richness to it. You can spread something with it. You can mix something else. I'm going to say hummus also. We're going a little bit different over there, but depending on how you want to season it or spice it. Chickpeas can also be, again, very malleable and creamy. And with mayonnaise, we're looking for, we want to top our sandwiches, or we want to top something else, right? Avocados and hummus, I think, go a long way.
Avocados, hummus, mashed chickpeas. And then, I'm just going to go ahead and call it out. I mean, there's like veganese out there, guys. If you're not familiar with it, that's not a whole food plant-based solution. But again, if you're like taking steps.
Yeah. So like step number 2 would be veganese. Step number 3 would be using tofu. Or even nuts for those who can, to make some sort of creamy sauce. I believe we have a couple of different sour cream recipes, whole food plant-based sour cream recipes. Tofu could also replicate that mayonnaise sort of spread creaminess.
Okay. We got a question from Dreama there, Beth, on YouTube. I'd love to answer that if we could. Okay, Dreama. I'm losing weight and trying to gain muscle on a new vegan diet. I'm hungry throughout my day. Why am I always hungry? Please help. All right. So first and foremost, neither one of us are personal trainers or dietitians, so we can't help on that. However, I know that it is possible to lose weight and gain muscle, but you know how like bodybuilders are like either in a bulk or a cutting phase? I think that's the thing that I would research, Dreama, on that. But I can address hungry during the day. All right. So you got to think about your arsenal of food that you are going to have so that you are never hungry. Yeah. So let's do like 5 or 6 quick snacks, and then let's get out of here, my friend, because I know that we got
we could just keep going forever. Yeah.
we got to get into guides too, so.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, I'm always a fan of having a whole bunch of fresh fruit available. Grapes are always great, whether in the fridge or frozen. Bananas are always great. There are some great bars out there, even something simple as like a Lara bar, as few ingredients as possible to have on hand. And again, if you can do nuts, having a nice little trail mix or something of the sort, oatmeal clusters, whether you're buying or making homemade, having those snacks on hand to make sure that when you are hungry, you have something accessible to eat will solve that hunger. What about you, Corey?
For me, I know that most people don't do nuts, but nuts are great. I mean, as a small bit, because they are high in fat. The other thing that I would say is apples. I love Honeycrisp apples.
Yep.
Apples are the best, man. You can just eat them by themselves. You can cut them up, of course. My kids always need them cut up. They're like, cut it. Ew, they're seeds. And I was like, come on, guys, give me a break.
I could go through a whole bag of carrots in hummus. Just add a little extra dip to it or something like that.
Nice. Yeah,
and what's great is Robert Cheek is, we all know Robert Cheek. If you don't know Robert Cheek, look up Robert Cheek. He is a powerhouse in the whole food plant-based community and world. He is an award-winning bodybuilder, and he has a lot of great articles on the Forks Over Knives website. So if you're looking to put on muscle eating whole food plant-based while also looking to lose weight and make sure you're getting enough calories for your fitness, check out Robert's articles on the website.
All right, my people. Listen, we're going to get out of here, but I got to tell you, next week, you got to tune in because we have Dr. Neil Barnard coming on board with Steven. And
wow, Dr. Neil Barnard. Huge, that's so exciting.
Founder of PCRM, Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, and also a star of Forks Over Knives. So make sure that you guys come and learn about 15 powerhouse foods that you need to incorporate in your diet. We're also going to have a free giveaway for you as well that we've put together. So holy cow, him and his team.
Amazing.
Wonderful. Yeah.
I love all of this. I wish I was attending, but it's okay. Others can win the giveaway. I will host. That is fine. That is fine.
I love it. All right, people. Listen, thank you so much for being here. We're going to respond to every comment. So if you had a question and we can get to it, we will. And don't forget to comment with the word heart so we can send you our free Healthy Heart Guide. You just tell us where to send it. Give us your email, not in the comments, but just when you give us your email on the page that we will send you, then we'll send it to you so the system can automate that and all that fun stuff. All right. Steven, thanks for being here, man. Have a great week. And we'll see you next week with Dr. Barnard.
I am so excited for it. In the meantime, everyone, whole food plant-based baby steps eventually lead to whole food plant-based leaps. So you're on your way, and we are wishing you the best with it. We got you.
Got you. Much love, everybody.
Bye-bye.